afraid, I have come to tell you great news. So they approach her, and maybe I'll actually read her first few words. How many people here know of La Salette? Good. Okay, so it makes sense to read a little because not everybody. These are the first couple of sentences she said. She said, "If my people refuse to submit, I shall be forced to let go of the arm of my son. It is so heavy I can no longer hold it. How long a time I have suffered for you. If I want my son not to abandon you, I must plead with him without ceasing. However much you pray, however much you do, you will never be able to repay the pains I have taken for you. 6 days I have given you to work. I kept the seventh for myself, and they will not give it to me. This is what makes the arm of my son so heavy. And those who drive the carts cannot swear without bringing in my son's name. These are the two things that make the arm of my son so heavy." And then she tells them that if the people don't repent, there'll be a great famine and all of the children under 7 will die. And if they do repent, the potatoes will sow themselves in the field. So anyway, the original operation site was in the French Alps. The following winter, I was on a ski trip to the Alps. And it rained for a few days. The skiing was washed out. I decided to take a drive to this La Salette place that I had read about because I thought it would be a nice, quiet place to pray in. And I really don't have time to go into the story. But anyway, when I was there, I had a mishap happened to my car, so I couldn't leave there. There was a tremendous blizzard that stuck me up at the top of the mountain. I had to spend the rest of my ski trip stuck at the top of La Salette. I did nothing there. I could barely stay awake long enough to eat a meal. I slept probably about 21 hours a day. Every time I would, get up, I'd go down to a meal, and I would just make it back to my room before I, conked out. I know now, again, it was the Blessed Mother taking care of me, and I know it in part because one afternoon when this happened, I'm falling asleep, taking a nap in the middle of the afternoon. I say, this is really stupid. I'll force myself awake. I'll force myself to get up and do something. So I force myself up to 45 degrees in bed to wake up, and I kind of lift my head, and I try to wake up, and bang, I'm out cold again, and I fall into this dream. And in this dream, it's taking place in a service station, right? And there's a car up on the lift, and there are 3 mechanics working on each of the 4 wheels of the car. And there's a shop steward directing the work, right? And the shop steward is the Blessed Virgin Mary. I'm the car on the lift. The car is trying to get down off the lift, and Mary is yelling at the car, "What are you doing? Can't you see they're not finished yet?" So, this was a picture, obviously, of what was going on. And then when I left La Salette to go back to the United States, obviously my ski trip was ruined by being stuck at La Salette. This is how I looked at it. And the night before leaving, I was in Geneva waiting for the flight out the next day, and I went to sleep. And I went to sleep with a prayer that was really just a whining complaint to God, saying, "I can't believe you did this to me. How can you do this to me? I go halfway around the world to go skiing. It's a nonstop blizzard for 10 days. It would have been the best skiing conditions of my life, and you stick me at La Salette. How can you do this to me?" And I go to sleep with that prayer on my mind, and I have this dream, again, a very waking feeling dream, and I'm confronted with this man who looks at me very seriously. He reminded me of like that really loving high school teacher who always seemed very serious and somber, but who the kids really knew was the one who really loved them more than anybody else. And he just drills me with his eyes, and he says, "You can go skiing or you can work for the second coming. It's your choice. Which do you choose?" So anyway, I felt about 3 inches tall. I think I know what choice I made, which is kind of why I find myself here. So anyway, let me go into the second part of my talk, which is the relationship between Judaism and the Catholic Church, okay? Because when I entered the Catholic Church, and, Catholics would say to me, "Oh, wonderful, how wonderful that you converted," I would be really puzzled because I didn't understand why they thought I had converted, because it was obvious to me that I had not converted at all. If the Catholic faith is true, it is nothing other than the continuation of Judaism after the coming of the Jewish Messiah. I converted at all. I had just gone from being a Jew who was wrong about who Jesus was to a Jew who was right about who Jesus was. And if Jews are supposed to be right all the time, I was more Jewish than ever.